welcome to today's class. For today, you're going to need a set of blocks and, of course, whatever space you would like to practice in. So whenever you have what you need, let's go ahead and meet in child's pose, starting at the back of our mat. And so when coming into your space, go ahead and bring those blocks along with you. We're going to settle into a child's pose, big toes together to touch. Knees nice and wide if that's comfortable for you. And then those blocks are going to be out in front of you, placed underneath the hands as you start to drop belly down, drop the chest down, and settling into that space between the shoulders, between the upper part of the arms, allowing the neck, the head to start to get heavy. Maybe it rests down onto the mat. And just coming into your breath. Maybe using the blocks to help guide those hips a little closer toward the heels. You're welcome to take whatever subtle movements feel good to allow you to really settle in, to release, let go. And feeling that space between the shoulders and the chest slowly start to open with every breath. Those inhales become a little bit fuller as you feel the rib cage expand out into those inner thighs. The belly starts to fill the space between the hips. Just bringing that attention inward into the body. Using that breath to help guide you onto your space on your mat. Clearing out the day that has led to this point thus far. And as the body continues to settle, maybe we set an intention for today's flow, today's hour-ish maybe of movement. Taking 3 cleansing breaths to bring us in to our practice. Keeping the lips sealed, fill the belly, the rib cage, all the way up with air as you expand to the tippy top, maybe taking a quick pause, and then open the mouth, clear it out, exhale. Seal the lips, deep inhale, fill up. Open mouth, exhale, clear it out all the way through. One more deep inhale, fill up. Draw that air in, feel everything expand as it fills. And then open mouth, exhale, clear it out. Bringing the blocks a little bit closer toward the top of the mat. Feeling that stretch, that length along the rib cage, heavy toward the heels. Maybe bring the left hand onto the right block. Not a big side body stretch, but enough to take a nice deep breath into that left rib cage. Expand in or expand out, fill in. Exhale, drop the chest a little bit closer down to the earth. And the inhale, our hands go over to that left block. Keeping those hips, sending those hips back toward the heels. Feel that slight opening through the right side body. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, clear it out. Inhale brings you back to center, one hand on each block. Tuck the toes. Press yourself up and into a downward facing dog. Pedaling nice and slow. Wiggle the hips left to right. Adjust the blocks as you need so you can take up space on your mat. And then just taking whatever intuitive movement shows up for you as you make your way into your downward facing dog. However your body is showing up in this practice, whether you want to work through the hips, the low body, the spine, the shoulders. Let these be your moments to tune in, to check in. And then within the next breath or so, settling into your downward facing dog. Going to work through a nice little ladder flow here to begin to open up through the body. On your next inhale, reach that right leg up high towards the sky. Think of pressing through the blocks as you reach those toes to the back corner of the room. Nice inhale lengthens you out from tips of fingers to the tips of the toes. And then on the exhale, slowly starting to draw that right knee toward the right elbow, pressing strong through the heels of the hands as you tap it in. And then the right foot steps outside the right hand. And you slowly start to drop the back knee, drop the hips, lift the chest. And as we come into this space, wiggling through the hips, letting that right knee fall out and open, back in. Just wiggling and moving, letting those hips settle down, nestling inside that right thigh. And if you draw that right knee out and open and you come onto the pinky edge of that foot, staying strong within the ankle, not letting that ankle sickle or collapse in. And then as you start to settle into your space, as you find the depth in this space, slowly coming down onto forearms. So whether the blocks stay at that lower height or maybe you bring them up to their medium height at an angle to support those forearms as you come down. It doesn't have to be your biggest depth or biggest expression. Just let it feel opening. Relaxing heavy through the belly, through the base of the pelvis. And even though we're low in this space, still thinking of keeping a slight lift of the chest, aiming it or shining it toward the front edge of that mat. Finding one more breath here. Bringing hands back to blocks. Lifting out of the shape for just a moment, and then on the exhale, slowly press yourself into a half splits pose, bringing those blocks with you. Using that to draw the chest, the heart forward as the tailbone, sit bones reach back, feeling that strength along the spine, the length behind the right leg. And then pull yourself back forward, blocks return back to their starting point. Press up into high plank, right leg comes back to meet left. Exhale, downward facing dog, we meet. Moving on to that left side. Inhale, the left leg lifts long back behind you. Think of pressing into the blocks to press yourself away as those left toes reach towards the back corner of the room. Strong along the spine, engaged to the back line of the leg. Exhale. Left knee, left elbow, shift it forward, connect, and then soft landing of the left foot outside the hand. Drop the back knee, drop the hips, lift the chest. And finding some wiggle and some movement on that left hip. Maybe the sole of the foot stays planted and you kind of just sit heavy into that left hip crease. If you want to come to the outer edge of that left foot, open a little bit deeper, or just stay strong within that ankle. Being conscious of the low back here in this space. So if you need a little support from the low belly, just find a little lift here. Keep pressing through the hands to keep you lifted or supporting you in this space. And then finding your depth, whether that sole or that foot stays planted or on the outer edge of that foot, you hang out there and you drop those forearms down to the blocks. If that still feels really far away, you can just keep the hands to the blocks, keep that lift of the chest, and work through this space here. Allowing the blocks to support you and meet you where you're at. You're fitting the shape to meet your body, not forcing your body to meet the shape. You always want to meet yourself where you're at, so you can gradually work through that range of motion, that space that you're creating. And then slowly make your way back up. And then out of that left hip as you send the hips back, half splits, bring those blocks with you to support your journey back. Digging that left heel underneath. Reaching that left sit bone, the tailbone back behind you as you reach your chest forward. And then pull yourself back into that starting point. Blocks come down to their lowest height. Plant the hands. Left foot comes back to meet the right high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now we're going to build onto this flow, not moving faster, but not lingering quite as long. So on that inhale, right leg lifts up high back behind you. This time bend the knee, open the hip, keeping the chest squared down towards the mat. Think of really reaching through those right toes. Inhale, square it off, reach straight back behind you. On the exhale, bend through the left knee, drive the right knee to right elbow. Pause, and then softly land that right foot outside the hands. Drop the back knee, lift the chest. Maybe we drop down for just a breath. Deep inhale. Exhale, settle in. Inhale, lift yourself up. And then exhale, bring those blocks with you, half splits. One more breath. Grow out of the hips, long through the spine. Drop it back down, twisted lizard lunge. We open up, left hand plants, right arm reaches up towards the sky. Chest and heart, turn over that right thigh. And on the exhale, maybe we bend the back knee, we catch the back foot, twisting a little deeper into this space. If you connect hand to foot, then you draw the top of the foot toward the back of the mat, allowing that to open the right side of the chest, the shoulder. And then close it off, right hand comes down, high plank, right foot steps back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Bend the knee, open the hip, reach through those left toes. Pressing strong through the hands, keep those hips lifted towards the sky. And then inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, shift it forward, drive left knee, left elbow, connect. And then softly landing the left foot outside the hands. Drop the back knee, lift the chest. Drop it down, snuggle in. One full breath here. Exhale. Inhale, start to lift yourself up. Exhale, half split, send it back. Straighten-ish through that right leg or left leg. Chest and heart reaches forward. Bring it back down, blocks on their lowest height. Right hand plants, inhale, find that twisted lizard lunge. You reach up. And on the exhale, maybe we catch the back foot. If we connect, draw the top of the foot toward the back of the mat, opening through the left side of the chest, the left shoulder, neck is nice and long, shoulders down away from the ears. Nice and easy release with control. Left hand comes back down, high plank. Left foot meets the right. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the right leg lifts. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Feel that reach as you expand through the front body. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to elbow, nice and slow. We shift ourselves forward. Step the right foot outside the hand. Just dropping the hips down, lift the chest. Exhale, send it back, half splits. Blocks come with. Drop the blocks back down. Inhale, find your twist. Exhale, connect. Right hand to left foot. Inhale, you open up, feel that expansion. And on the exhale, we release. Extended pyramid pose this round. Send it back. Right leg straightens, toes to shin. A little up dog of the chest. Gaze to the front edge of the mat. Come back into that right foot. Right foot comes back to meet the left high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Bend the knee, open the hip, reach and expand. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to elbow, shift it forward. Soft landing of the foot outside the hand, drop the hips, lift the chest. Exhale, half splits, pull the hips back in space. Keep thinking of reaching the chest towards the front edge of the mat. Exhale, drop the blocks. Inhale, twist and open, twisted lizard lunge. Reach long through that wingspan, and on the exhale, we catch the back foot. Inhale, connect and open. Draw the top of the foot toward the back edge of the mat. Unravel. Hands to block. Extended pyramid pose. You straighten through left leg. Pressing into the blocks. Feel that little protraction, that separation of the shoulder blades. But still lifting or reaching the chest to heart toward the front edge of the mat. So that strength through the upper body, length through the back line of the leg. Come back into the left foot. Left foot meets the right high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more round each side. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee and open. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, step the right foot outside the right hand. With control, we land. Inhale, we lift up, drop the back knee. Exhale, half split, send it back, bring the blocks with you. Inhale, come forward, twisted lizard lunge, we open. Exhale, catch the back foot, we twist. Inhale, we twist back. Exhale, extended pyramid pose, we straighten out. Inhale, warrior three, we open up, plant the right foot, pivot the back heel. Warrior two, we open. Might have said warrior three, but warrior two, we settle in. Inhale, open into reverse warrior. Exhale, reverse triangle, straighten through that right leg. Really lifting through the right fingertips, lifting that right side of the rib cage up towards the sky. So we come out of that low back. And then come back down, hands plant onto the blocks. High plank. Downward facing dog. Inhale, the left leg lifts, bend the knee, open up. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale. Left foot steps forward. Outside the hand, we drop the knee, we lift the chest. Untuck the back toes, half splits, exhale. Straighten-ish to that left leg. Come forward, inhale, twisted lizard lunge, we open. Pressing down into that bottom hand, exhale, connect. Inhale, open, draw it down. Unravel. Left hand to block, extended pyramid pose, exhale. Warrior two, we open up, so plant the left foot, pivot the right heel down. It's going to be a little wider stance, just play with it. It might feel a little different, but settle in. Strong within the lower body, lifted within the back inner arch. Left knee is tracking over the center of the foot. And then we reverse our warrior, stay strong in the lower body, just tilting and reaching. Sink a little bit deeper into that left knee as the left fingertips reach up. Exhale, straighten and reverse triangle. We grow out of it. Open up through that left side waist. And then the hands come back down to the blocks. Left foot comes back to meet the right, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Round and ripple, find your way into a high plank. Working your way through the spine. Unravel at the top. Lower chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more round, inhale, heels lift. Exhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Round and ripple the spine to that high plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Feeling that strength in the structure and the connection in your downward facing dog. 2 more breaths. Hips high towards the sky, heels heavy toward the earth. Roll over the toes, drop the knees. Hips stay high towards the sky, drop the chest down, puppy pose. Feel free to scooch those blocks towards the top corners of the mat if that feels good. Finding another opportunity to expand through the chest, open through the shoulders. Feeling that length, that opening through the backside of the hips. That space between the sit bones. Feeling that opening across the chest into the upper back. Using those blocks to create a little bit more space between your body and the earth, get a little bit more depth, more range, more space to explore. Keeping those hips nice and high. Right arm is going to thread underneath the left, coming down onto the back side of that right shoulder. Left hand can stay on the block, or if you want to find the small of your back to find a little bit more opening within the chest, you can. Come out the way you came, left hand finds the block. Unravel, drop the chest once more down through center. And switching sides, gentle press to the right hand to give yourself some space to thread the left arm underneath, coming down onto the outside edge of that left shoulder. Hips stay high towards the sky. Right hand can stay on the block, or if you'd like to find the small of your back, then drawing that right elbow open, continuing to open through the chest. Unravel the way you came. Right hand comes back to that block. Left hand comes back to the block. Drop it down. Then go ahead and shift out of that puppy pose. Taking the blocks off to the side. Just having them nearby. You're welcome to use those blocks at any point throughout the remainder of the flow. But we're going to go ahead and make our way into a downward facing dog in your own time. So when you're ready, coming back into that downward facing dog, moving into our next flow. Take 2 more cleansing breaths here. On your next inhale, the right leg lifts high towards the sky. Exhale, knee to elbow, shift it forward, shoulders over wrists. Inhale, 3-legged dog, we lift up and out. Exhale, knee to elbow, step the foot outside the hand. Twisted runner's lunge, left hand stays planted, right arm opens to sky. Feel free to wiggle that left hand underneath you a little bit more as you need. But think of drawing that right hip crease back in space. Left heel is heavy. Strong press to that bottom hand, reaching through those right fingertips. That energy across the wingspan is going to help you lift up and out of this shape. So staying grounded and strong through the sole of the right foot, strong through the pads of the toes on the left-hand side. We're going to keep reaching through those right fingertips and lift up and out of this into a twisted crescent lunge. So those right fingertips are reaching back, left fingertips are reaching forward. Twisting through the rib cage, trying to stack over top those hips. Strong within the lower body, we settle. Exalting your crescent lunge, right hand comes to the back thigh. Left arm up and overhead. Keeping that twist toward the right side. But if you want to shine the chest toward the sky, you can find that little rotation open. Nice and strong, powerful lift here. And then the left hand finds the earth once more, horizon lunge. Left hand plants, right arm sweeps out in front of you. As you come onto the pinky edges of the feet, we sweep open. You can find low horizon lunge. If you want to drop those hips toward the earth, reach the fingertips toward the back of the room, back of the mat. Press and lift out of it. Side angle is where we go. So pivoting on those feet, on the balls of the feet, on the heel. Coming into that side angle, the left heel drops. Right hand plants inside the inner arch of the foot. Left hand to sky. Now you're welcome to bring a block here to that right hand to help you lift out of this space, create space within that right side body. But we're connecting right elbow to right thigh in whatever capacity that is to help keep that hip nice and open. Tailbone reaching toward that left heel. Left arm up and overhead. Strong and connected here all the way from the center of the core through the lower body. On the inhale, reverse warrior, stay low within the lower body. Stay committed to that front knee as we pinwheel open. The right fingertips reach to the back of the room. The right knee reaches toward the front. Warrior two, we lift out of it. Upright, shoulders over hips, reaching through those fingertips. Sink low here in your space. Pumping warrior on the inhale, we straighten through the right leg, palms up and overhead, they touch. Exhale pulls us back into that warrior two. Inhale, pumping warrior, we lift up. Palms together, and then on the exhale, sit low into that warrior two. Inhale, pumping warrior, palms up and overhead, we straighten. And then keeping the leg straight, wiggle that right foot in a step or two. And on the exhale, we sit low into our goddess squat. Knees drive wide, hips lower, heavy towards the earth. Shoulders stay stacked over the hips. Hands stay at heart center. Breathing here. And staying low within the hips, double bent leg lunge back of the mat. So pivot on those back toes. Arms sweep up and overhead, nice and strong. That right knee is hovering from the floor. And then finding an archer's lunge. That left arm is going to sweep down, around and back behind us as those right fingertips are reaching towards the back of the mat. Nice and long and lifted here, strong within the lower body. And then soft landing of that right knee, exalted grounded lunge. That left hand comes back, right arm up and overhead. And then revolved grounded lunge. That right elbow comes outside the left thigh. Palms touch. Pressing left into right, we grow out of this twisted space. Right elbow is hooked to the outer thigh. Strong and lifted here. Deep breath in, inhale. On the exhale, we lift that back knee. We come into a revolved crescent lunge. Reconnect with that twist. Can you lift out and away from that left thigh? And then we're going to start to come a little bit higher onto those right toes, shifting our weight into that left foot. We're going to take a big step of the right foot to meet the left, revolved chair. Just kissing those inner thighs toward one another, drawing that right elbow into the thigh to help you twist a little bit deeper, reintegrate within your space. Staying low within the hips, unravel, hands to heart center, chest lifts. Exhale, sit low. Inhale, rise up high onto the toes. Inhale. We stack shoulders over hips. If you lose your balance, come back into it. I got a carpet underneath me too. It's a nice little added balance challenge here. And then nice and slow, we're going to lower the hips toward the heels for 3, 2, 1. Finding that toes pose. Hands come to the earth. Step it back into your high plank. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Find your breath. That was round 1 for a side. Beautiful work. As we start to get familiar with where we're going, where we're moving through, we'll begin to work breath and movement. But for the left side, let's work our way through this space, make our way to the back, to the front, make our way back to the front of the mat. On the inhale, the left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to elbow, shift it forward, connect. Inhale, lift it up, 3-legged dog. Exhale, left foot steps outside the left hand. Twisted runner's lunge, the left arm lifts. Twisting over that left thigh. Feeling that nice length through the outside edge of that left hip. Again, you're welcome to use blocks as you need to help you lift up and out of your space. Grounded down through that left big toe. And pressing strong through the right toe mound on the backside. So we're strong within our connection to the mat, to the earth. Feeling that nice long lift of the fingertips towards the sky. And then using that long reach to right ourselves into that twisted crescent lunge. Left fingertips are reaching behind you, right fingertips are reaching out in front. Pausing here, sink a little bit deeper. And then exalting your crescent lunge. Left hand comes back, right hand to sky. You can keep that twist toward that left thigh, or you can bring the chest, the heart towards the ceiling. Open a little bit deeper into this space. Thinking of lifting the chest, the heart towards the ceiling, coming out of the low back. And then right hand comes down to the earth, horizon lunge. That left arm sweeps down and in front of you as it reaches up and overhead.
And then maybe low horizon as you reach those fingertips towards the front of the mat, the hips drop toward the floor. Side angle, we lift up and out. Pivot on the toes, the heel, left hand comes down, right arm up and overhead. Side angle, hand to block, forearm to thigh. Whatever allows for you to draw that left rib cage underneath the right. Or you can commit to that lower body, bending into that left knee. Heavy tailbone as it reaches toward the right heel. Arm up and overhead. Then from here we pinwheel into reverse warrior, so staying low within the legs. We reach that right hand to the back thigh, left arm up and overhead, open through that left side body. Warrior two, we come upright. Long reach, we settle into that left leg. Pumping warrior, inhale, straighten and lift up. Palms together overhead. Exhale, sink low. Warrior two. Inhale, pumping warrior, we reach up, we straighten the legs. Exhale, warrior two, we sink low. Inhale, we come up, straighten through those legs, we stay tall here, and then we wiggle the left foot in a step or two. And on the exhale, we click those heels in, toes out, we sit low, goddess squat. Drawing those knees out and open. Adjusting your stance as you need so you can sit those hips low, even-ish with the knees, even-ish depth, more or less. So adjust as you need to create space for yourself. And then staying low in that lower body, we're pivoting to the top of the mat, double bent leg lunge. Left arm sweeps down, right arm up and overhead. The left arm comes to meet it. Hovering that back knee, reaching tall through those fingertips, connected within the core. Twisted double bent leg lunge, left arm in front, right arm behind, twisting over that right thigh. Connecting here first, and then slowly dropping the left knee down. Exalted grounded lunge, the right arm. Right hand finds somewhere on that back leg. Left hand up and overhead, we expand. Revolved grounded lunge, left elbow to right thigh. Palms come toward one another. We press and twist out of this space. Can we create space for ourselves using the upper body, using the strength of the core? Grounded down through that right big toe, through the pads or the pads of the back toes. Lift up and out of this, find that revolved crescent. We hold here. Find that connection, that strength, that integration. And then slowly start to come a little bit higher onto those left toes, shifting our weight onto that right foot. Big step of the left foot to meet the right revolved chair. So squeeze those inner thighs toward one another. Twist a little bit deeper. Inhale, hands come to heart center, finding that chair pose. Inhale, find a little lift to the chest. Exhale, that tailbone is heavy. Inhale, come up high onto the toes, heels lift. Exhale, slowly lower for 3, 2, 1. Once we come into that toes pose, hands plant down to the earth, step it back, find your high plank. And then your vinyasa. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Finding your breath. We're going to start moving breath to movement, so a little less time spent in each space. But still working through the same postures. Inhale, the right leg lifts. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Feeling strong and connected within the upper body. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, shift it forward. Tap. Inhale, three-legged doggy reach. Exhale, right foot steps outside the hand. Runner's lunge. Twist and open. Right arm to sky. Strong and connected within the lower body. Reach through the fingertips. We come up into that twisted lunge. Exalted. Crescent lunge. The left hand lifts. Big inhale, fill up. Exhale, left hand comes to the earth. We sweep open into that high horizon. Exhale, low horizon. Inhale, side angle. Left heel pivots down. We open. Sit low into your space. Commit to that front knee. Lifted within the inner arches, grounded down through the big toe. Stay strong here. We lift up into a reverse warrior. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, pumping warrior, we straighten out. Exhale, sit low. Inhale, pump and lift out. Exhale, sit low. Inhale, pumping warrior, we straighten. Wiggle that right foot in as much as you need. Heels pivot in, toes pivot out. Exhale, goddess squat. Inhale, we find a lift through the chest. Exhale, we sit a little bit lower. Inhale, stay low. Double bent leg lunge, back of the mat. Exhale, we commit to the lower body. Inhale, find that twist, left arm back, right arm forward. And then find a breath here. Soft landing of that back knee, exalted. Grounded lunge, we reach up with those right fingertips. On the exhale, we close it off, right elbow, left thigh. Palms toward one another, we press and twist out of it. Committed to that twist, tuck those back toes if they aren't already. Lift through that back knee. Find a new depth to your twist. Come higher onto those right toes, shifting the weight into that left foot. With control, we step the right foot forward, find that revolved chair. Can we lift out of it a little bit further? Inhale, find that chair pose, hands to heart center. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Inhale, high up onto the toes. And on the exhale, we sink low for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands plant to the earth, step it back or hop. Lower chaturanga on the exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 1 breath here. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Exhale, bend the knee open. Inhale, we lift long. Exhale, knee to elbow, shift it forward. Inhale, we lift up. Exhale, step it forward. Runner's lunge. We twist open. Left arm lifts. Strong within the lower body. Make that connection. Energetic reach to the fingertips brings us up and out of this space. Sink low into the lower body. And then reach the right arm up and overhead, exalting your lunge as the left hand finds somewhere on the back of that right thigh. Exhale, we close it off, horizon lunge. Pivot onto the pinky edges of the feet as we open up. Exhale, sink those hips low as you reach the fingertips back of the mat, low horizon. Side angle, close it off. Left hand plants, right heel pivots. We open right hand to sky or up and overhead. Strong within the lower body, connected within the core. Lift up and out, reverse your warrior. Strong press to the sole of that left foot as we come out of that space. Come on up into warrior 2. On the exhale, we settle deep within this space. Pumping warrior, inhale, we lift out. Palms up and overhead, they touch. Exhale, sit low. Inhale, press and lift out. Exhale, sit low. Inhale, press and lift out. Stay lifted here, wiggle that left foot in. And then heels click and toes click out. Sit low, goddess squat. On the inhale, you find length and strength within the spine. Exhale, commit to that lower body. On the inhale, stay low, pivot forward, double bent leg lunge. Arms long up and overhead. Exhale, sit low. Inhale, sweep that right arm down and back. Find that twist. Slowly ground down into that left knee. Exalted, grounded lunge. The right hand comes down, left arm up. Big inhale into that front body. And then on the exhale, we close it off. Left elbow to the outside of the right thigh. The palms touch. They press to open across the chest. Twist through the rib cage, through that spine. And then we tuck the back toes. We lift that back knee. Feeling more strength through that lower body. And then we come high onto those left toes, shifting our weight forward. Big step of the left foot to meet the right. Revolve chair. Inhale, we unravel, we sit low. Exhale, sink those hips, lift the chest. Inhale, high up onto the toes. Exhale, we sink low for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing at that toes pose. Then the hands plant, we step it back into that high plank. We find our vinyasa, lower into that chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. We have one more round working through that space. So come back to your breath, come back to your body, feeling that strength, connection, integration. You know where we're moving to. You know what options you have to explore, using the block as it makes sense for you. So coming one more breath into that downward facing dog. On the next inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to elbow, tap and shift forward. Inhale, three-legged dog, you reach long. Exhale, right foot outside the hand. Runner's lunge, we open up. Exhale, lift and twist. Inhale, exalt. Exhale, left hand plants. Inhale, sweep it open, high horizon. Exhale, low horizon. Inhale, side angle. We open up, facing the left side of the mat. Exhale, we lift up into reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, sit low into that warrior two. Inhale, pumping warrior, we lift out. Exhale, sit low. Moving with your breath here. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we lower. Inhale, lift up. Wiggle that right foot in. Sit low on that exhale. Here for a breath. Inhale, find length. Exhale, sit low. Stay low. Inhale, double bent leg lunge. Exhale, find that twist. Left arm back, right arm forward. Lower that right knee down on the exhale. Inhale, exalted, grounded lunge. On the exhale, we close it off. Find that revolved lunge. Palms together, chest lifts. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift into that revolved crescent. Inhale, high up onto the toes. Shift the weight forward. Revolved chair pose. Sit low. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, sit deeper. Chest stays lifted. Inhale, high up onto the toes. Exhale, lower down into that toes pose for another 3, 2, 1. Hands plant, step it back, high plank. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Last side, last round. You got it, beautiful work. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Inhale, three-legged dog, you reach. Exhale, tap it forward. Knee to elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog, you open. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale, twist and open. Exhale, we lift out. Find that revolution, that twist. Inhale, find that exalted lunge. Exhale, right hand plant, sweep that left arm forward, high horizon. Exhale, drop the hips, reach those fingertips to the top of the mat. Inhale, press it down to unravel into that side angle here. Grounded down through the lower body, reaching through those right fingertips, creating space in that left side waist. Exhale, reach it up into that reverse warrior two. As the fingertips reach up, the knee goes forward. Warrior two, we lift up. Exhale, we settle in. Inhale, pumping warrior, we straighten. Exhale, sit low, warrior two. Inhale, pumping warrior, we lift. Exhale, sit low. Inhale, we lift out. Palms touch, wiggle that left foot in. Heels in, toes out. Exhale, we sit low. Here for a breath, inhale. Exhale, drive those knees wide as you sit the hips lower. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead as we come into double bent leg lunge facing the top of the mat. Exhale, find your twist, right arm back, left arm forward. Drop the back knee, exalted, grounded lunge, inhale. Big expansion of the front body. Exhale, left hand or left elbow outside the right knee. Palms toward one another, press and twist. Feel the depth of the twist all the way through the muscles of the belly. On the exhale, we drive that left knee straight. Strong within the lower body, high up onto those left toes. Inhale. Big step forward, find that revolution. Exhale, we sit into that revolved. chair pose. Inhale, unravel. Exhale, sit into chair pose, hands heart center. Inhale, high up onto the toes, heels lift. Exhale, we lower for 10. Oh gosh, 5. We lower for 4, 3, 2, 1. Finding that toes pose, hands plant, step or hop into that high plank. Your last vinyasa, we lower into that chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Here for 5 breaths. Come back into it, slow down your breath. Beautiful work here. Stay strong, stay connected. Using all points in your body, all points of contact to support you here in this space. It's not one thing keeping you upright here. Stay connected even when it's challenging. Strong all the way through the hands, the shoulders, high within the hips. One more breath here. Inhale, the right leg lifts long. Press through the palms as you reach those right toes up and back behind you. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Upright pigeon pose is where we're moving to. Right ankle to left wrist. And then starting to walk those left toes back in space. Allowing that left hip to drop down. Right hip crease underneath you, left hip point dropping down. Now, if this feels big for you to be into, you have the blocks here with you today. So, if you feel like you have a hard time really sitting on top of that right hip, or that right heel is really close to that inner thigh and you want to try to bring it a little bit more parallel to the top of that mat, grab one of those blocks and place it underneath the right thigh. Gives you a little bit more space between you and the ground. So that gives you a little bit more access to really roll down into that left hip. Finding a nice tall spine. And then keeping that length, we fold forward over that right shin. Don't have to come all the way down to those forearms. Just fold in whatever capacity works for you. Continuing to allow that heart rate to settle. That ease to come into the body. So even though this is a big space to be in, it's not an unfamiliar space to be in, but it has its challenges. It's not always the same. It's big no matter where you are in your movement journey. So don't be afraid to meet yourself where you're at today. So utilizing those blocks. So when we're in these kinds of spaces, we really give the body the opportunity to settle and surrender into those new spaces we're trying to access. Within the next breath or so, walk yourself back upright. If you utilized a block, go ahead and remove it. Then come onto that right hip. We're going to swing that left leg out and around. And we're crossing that right ankle over that left thigh. No, left ankle over the right thigh. Find a seated twist. But you're just going to hug that left thigh for right now and trying to bring that left sit bone toward the mat. So take a breath or so to really settle into this shape. And if this feels good, stay here. But if you want a little bit more depth, a little bit more of a twist, hug that left thigh in with the right arm. Left fingertips plant behind you and just twist over that left thigh. If you want to hook the elbow, if you want to find even more depth, we can hook and twist here. Not forcing any one thing. Just winding down or winding up to wind down. As we come out of this twist, we're going to find a fire log or double pigeon on this side. So again, utilizing the blocks. So the left leg is going to be on top of the right. So options here, you can fill the gap between left and right sides by just placing that block underneath the left shin. So kind of filling up, or it can be like on the inside of that right ankle, underneath the left knee, and then just finding that stack there. Or if that's uncomfy, you can just bring that left foot out in front of you, find more of an open space, having that left shin out in front of the right, or find a cross-legged seat. Then find a nice tall spine wherever you are, and finding whatever bit of compression or fold feels good for you. Relaxing down through the inner thighs, the front of the hips, even into the base of the pelvis. Want those thighs to get heavy wherever you are. Using your breath and still pulling in that new air as low as you can. So if you find that the breath is staying stuck within the chest, can you pull it a little bit deeper, feeling that ebb and flow within the rib cage, within the belly, and into the base of the pelvis. One more breath. Go ahead and remove whatever blocks or supports that you were using. And now we're going to go and find same movements on the other side. So that left shin's going to stay out in front. You're going to rock onto that left side. Maybe even the left hand kind of catches you as you bring that right leg back behind you. Pivot onto the toes to help draw that right hip crease down. And the same supports apply here. So if you feel like you're pretty close to where you want to be, if you have a blanket nearby, you can always slip that underneath your thigh. But if you still feel pretty far and you want to play with that shin parallel to the top of the mat, just grab one of those blocks. It'll help you spill into those hips a little bit more so. And then you can stay upright or you can fold over that left shin. All great spaces to be in. Playing with the position of the pelvis. If you feel like you continue to settle into the space with every breath, you can always tuck those right toes and kind of help walk that right foot back a little bit, drawing that right hip down toward the mat, toward the floor. Using your breath to bring ease into this shape. Honestly, utilizing it to stay focused on you and on the confines of your mat, staying focused on you, your body. Go ahead and lift yourself up, using the upper body to help draw or release that block. Coming onto that left hip, swinging that right leg around so that the ankle comes outside that thigh. Left heel can come towards your bum. And then just hugging that right thigh in toward you, trying to find that right sit bone. Sometimes when I feel like you're getting closer to the ends of class, brain starts to be like, oh, okay, I can go back to thinking about all the things that I wanted to be thinking about before. But that then brings up the question, is the last parts of class really the more challenging portions? Practice of yoga is more than just the asana, more than just the physical movement. It's about the mind, the breath, and all the things that we might not intuitively think. Because we can be so focused on the asana, which is really, really wonderful, really beautiful. But it's staying connected to the mind and keeping that connection. Maybe deepening your twist here, hooking the left elbow. Keeping that right sit bone grounded-ish. And then fire log or double pigeon on the right hand side. So feel free to wiggle that left foot out. Block can come to the inside edge of that ankle so that the knee can rest on top. That's an option. Or the block can come out just outside the left knee so that the ankle can come out in front of you. Or if none of that feels comfortable on the ankles, depending on the blocks that you have, cross-legged seat, just as wonderful as a place to be. But you're finding that grounding sensation first and then working into whatever fold suits you. Feel free to close the eyes if you haven't already. So you can really tune into the sensations that are showing up within the body. Start to work your way back upright. Remove whatever supports you gathered. Unraveling the legs, bring the soles of the feet down toward the earth, scooting your sit bones close to the heels while you give your thighs a nice little squeeze hug in toward the belly. Tall spine, grounded within those sit bones. And then hands to knees, coming down onto your back one vertebrae at a time. Feel free to wiggle the knees left to right. And then finding a nice easy supine twist. Right knee is going to come in toward the chest. Left leg extends nice and long. Reaching that left heel toward the front of the room. Finding that compression thigh to belly or thigh hugging the rib cage. And then gentle twist over towards that left side. Right shoulder stays anchored down. Goalpost. Capital T. Just finding that nice rotation through the spine, through the belly. Breathing into the front of the hip. Letting go. Big expansive breaths as we continue to settle. And then switching sides. Left knee comes in, right leg goes out. Give it a nice squeeze as the right heel reaches long, thigh into belly or thigh along rib cage. Feel that nice compression here, breathe into it. And then find your nice twist, guiding the left thigh over and across to the right side. Goalpost, capital T of that left arm. Relaxing through the belly. Breathing into the front of that left hip, into the low back. Using the breath to help you settle. And nice and easy, come back to center. Give yourself a nice little hug. And then feel free to explore happy baby or plow pose. So if you want to do plow pose, arms alongside your body, press down through the palms of the hands, letting those toes reach up and overhead. If you're like me and you have your couch behind you, you can even walk those feet to the edge of the couch to help kind of support you or kind of hold you in this space.
That actually feels really nice if you are close enough to your couch where you can do something like that. I'm not really putting any kind of pressure into my feet or really gripping or holding myself here, but it's just enough support to guide or hold me in this space. Then you're welcome to stay there for a few more breaths, or some options for your Shavasana today. You have those 2 blocks with you, so options here. If you want more of a hip opener, you can place those blocks alongside the edges of your mat. You can come in Supta Baddha Konasana, so the soles of your feet are touching, blocks are to the edge, knees come nice and wide, and you lower yourself on down. That might feel really nice to kind of hold on to, let go. Or option 2, if you want more of an upper back chest opener, you can provide yourself a little ramp, medium height, highest height. That first block is coming perpendicular to the spine just below the shoulder blades. And then the second block can be on the highest height or medium as well. And that's just going to be placed right within the flattest part of your head. Okay, hips are heavy toward the floor, arms are draped out and open. Still a nice opening within the front of the hips, the lowest part of your belly as well. It's just a matter of what sounds good today. Also option, if you work close to your couch, if you want to just toss your legs up and on the couch and just have almost like a legs up the wall or supported 90-90. It is your space, your practice. Move in whatever capacity, support yourself in whatever capacity. Sounds like it'd feel really nice. However you're coming into this practice. The shoulders are feeling a little tight, the hips are feeling a little tight. Working your way into that space and just really allowing the supports that you chose to use, allowing that to really hold you and guide you through these last few moments of class. Wherever you choose to be, I hope that it's in a space where you feel supported, held, in a capacity that allows you to really let go and surrender to just your body, your breath. And scanning your body from the tips of the toes through to the crown of the head, and then out toward the tips of the fingers. And as you scan your body in its entirety, as you come across any areas that might be holding on to a little bit more tension, even the most subtle bit of hold that you feel within your body, acknowledge it and let it go. And as you complete today's flow and finish with today's class here in this space, I encourage you to stay for another 5-10 more breaths and really allow your body to settle into the stillness, into the quiet. There is no rush off your mat. There never is. As always, thank y'all so much for practicing with me and for being here. As you move forward in your day and in your week, may you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, and peace in your heart. From my heart to yours, go in peace, and I'll see you next time.